Hello everyone. I am going to attempt to make some recordings of the lessons that we do over the summer, just to give people who might miss a day or might be in a different time zone and not able to join us. And even if you want to review what we've covered in any given lesson, you'll have some video options. So this is going to be a quick rundown of how to write a scale. Now, over the course of the month, we're going to try and cover all scales, believe it or not. The ones you've played, the ones you haven't played, we're going to try and cover it all. So a scale just means going from one note, I'm starting on middle C, and I'm going up the steps on the staff until I get to the next C. That's actually what the word sort of means. It means going up the steps. So if you're writing along with me, hopefully you've got some manuscript paper. Here it is again. We write the ledger line for C, and then the next space. I know this might seem basic, but you also might realize your penmanship is not great if you haven't been practicing writing this. You might play super fast and not be able to really get your notes cleanly on the lines and spaces. That's also what this class is about. All right, so we just wrote the C scale, all white keys, right? No sharps or flats. We're going to do one more. You'll notice I'm writing treble clefs quickly. I'll give you a quick tutorial. If I do a really neat one, it's like a J, and then a small P, and then around the G line. We want the circle to be around the G line. But you see, when I'm quick, it's basically got all of those things. It's just not quite as fancy. So, I said I'd start on G, and I'm going to write all the steps. Now, for those of you who've played it, you realize something is missing. You might still be writing, you might still be getting used to trying to find just the right place of that B around the line, and not going too far outside of the lines for this next space note. It takes some time, I know. That's why we're practicing it together. All right, so the note that you know is missing. This should be review. You might just not have ever done it away from the keyboard. You have to remember this. You don't have the keyboard to try it out first. You know that F needs a sharp. All right, the F needs a sharp because we are writing a specific kind of scale. We're writing major scales. You can actually write from any note to any octave above, and we're going to call it something. We're going to cover that too, but it's going to take several class sessions. So when we're writing the major scale, we want it to sound like this, where the last two notes are one step apart. So here's B to C, and when I'm writing a G scale, I'll give you some red dots. Everything's the same except this last one. We also want this to be one step away, and that's what we're calling a half step. That's going to be really important when we continue to talk about scales. So let's write the G scale again, and that'll be it for this lesson. G, A, B, C, D, E, F sharp, G. Now make the sharps really clear. The other thing to remember is that the sharp is not just sort of anywhere. Okay, I've got a sharp in front of it. No, it has to look just like the note. The line goes through the sharp and the line goes through the F. They have to line up, because once you start playing really complicated things, you're looking at way too many. You've got to see the sharp go with the note. All right, our first lesson in writing a major scale. Keep practicing.